CBS 2 News streams here. CBS News Chicago.
All right, everybody, if you're just joining us on the stream, Chris Habermill here in CBS Skywatch. We've got a working house fire at 8224 South on Lafayette. Now, in the last few minutes, had an EMS Plan 1 and a Mayday call here. Obviously, somebody, one of the firefighters or maybe more, got into some trouble here while fighting the fire on the, they were up on the roof a little while ago doing some roof ventilation. And shortly after that, got a little increase in the amount of smoke and fire here. We do have visible flames now showing out the back of the building. We may have a RIT operation, the Rapid Intervention Team, which is standard protocol at any fire that involves that we have a working fire that's involved in to some degree inside or outside of a structure here. Don't know if there were any interior operations going on. We saw guys up on the roof a little while ago, shortly before the Mayday call came in, and it was elevated to the Plan 1. Now, an EMS Plan 1 brings 5 ambulances to the scene. We've seen quite a lot of flashlights here playing off the smoke in the gangway, that small space between structures here, between these houses here in the 8200 block of South Lafayette. This is right along the west side of the Dan Ryan Expressway, and a lot of that smoke has been curling over the side of the structure and down into traffic on the Dan Ryan, so that's complicating the afternoon or evening commute here. But as you can see, looks like we may have firefighters trying to make some entry into the back of the structure here on what's called the Charlie side. The Alpha side's the front, the street side, Bravo would be to the left. You do it clockwise, looking at the top of the structure there. And back here on the Charlie, we've got a couple of firefighters here who are at the back door. We did see some active flames coming through the back window there just a short while ago. When we first arrived on the scene here about 20 minutes or so ago, it was just some smoke coming up through the roof section on this single-story residential home in the 8200 block of South Lafayette. So as we circle up here and we continue to watch, you can see that we got a firefighter there. He's got his irons, got his Halligan and his and a pry tool or maybe a sledgehammer, a maul of some sort, and could be forcing entry into this house here. This just goes to prove, while we're waiting to get more information on the Mayday and the Plan 1, that even something as innocuous as a house fire, kind of a bread and butter regular occurrence here in a large city like the city of Chicago, that things could go wrong. We have a lot of things to consider here. Anytime that you're working up on the roof, especially in weather conditions like this, you could have snow and ice on the roof. You could slip on the roof. You could step into a defect on the roof. Maybe there was some fire burning up underneath there, or there was a weak spot. We do not know that at this time. So we're kind of trying to line out for you some of the things that go into firefighting when you're working on any kind of a structure. Anytime you have a working fire inside of a house or a commercial building, that structure is actually under demolition. So the fire is eating away potentially at the structural supports. You could have, again, any water from firefighting activity on the outside of the structure there could have contributed to a slip and fall injury or more. So that being the case, you got firefighters out front, firefighters in the back on both sides there, and on the what would be the gangway between the fire building and the home on the south side there, just to the south. Got quite a lot of smoke. Got still a pretty good push out of not only the window in the back. Obviously, they've cleared that window glass out of there. They continue to do that right now. They're ventilating the structure, trying to get a lot of the smoke and fire gas out of there, make it a little bit more tenable for whoever may be inside, if that is in fact the case. But the way they are working here right now with firefighters at the back and in the front, they are actively perhaps seeking somebody that may have gotten in trouble inside the structure here. So again, for those of you who are just joining us, we're providing live streaming coverage of a house fire in the 8200 block of South Lafayette that broke out here a little bit before 5:30. It appeared to be just kind of you don't want to actually call it run-of-the-mill, but a more regular type of structure fire, house fire. We got a lot of smoke. It's up in the roof section here, and looked like things were going pretty good. Had some guys, company was up on the roof there working, opening up the roof, and then suddenly there was a call for a Mayday and also an EMS Plan 1, which brings 5 ambulances out to the scene here. So that would have activated your RIT, your Rapid Intervention Team, that would have gotten in there. So we've got, you can see how many firefighters are gathered around this single-story house. So this looks like it'd be a story, one-story residential that's got a peaked roof there, so you got kind of an attic space. No doubt you've got a basement of some sort in here, and we're right now waiting to hear exactly what the disposition is of this Mayday. It has not, to our knowledge, been secured as of yet. Neither has the Plan 1, and you do have firefighters that are gathered around the back side, the alley side of this building here, and they've broken out the windows there. They're clearing out the window glass, clearing out the window frames there, and looks as though that they continue that operation right now. Haven't seen any signs of forcible entry through any of the doors at this point, but it's kind of tough to tell being in the dark here and looking from 1,000 feet down from the aircraft. A lot of smoke in here. Got still a pretty good push of some heated smoke. It's still rather vigorous. We do have a little bit of steam working in there too, so it looks like there might be some water on this fire. It's not getting any worse as far as the actual thickness, the volume and velocity that smoke is as we continue to come around here. So smoke relatively cool. It's kind of hugging the ground here and rolling over the top of the roof line here and down across South Lafayette and into traffic down on the Dan Ryan Expressway. So as we continue to circle here and continue to monitor the situation, you can see you've got engine companies and the truck out in front. Drop 2 lines, pull past. The truck company owns the front of the building there, so you can get an elevated master stream if necessary. You can hit this with hand lines. Okay, you look on the front door, that you get firefighters that may be coming in and out through the front door. It looks like there's a line let out there as well. And I'm looking at this in real time as those of you at home are looking in real time. We do have the ground ladder that provided access to the roof here as we come around, getting a little bit of smoke in front of the camera now. But we do have officers and firefighters out in front and in back of this building and along and between this house and the house just down to the south. It's a very narrow, what we call a gangway between there. It's about 6-10 feet wide, very close from one house to another. So we continue to have, the smoke seems to be just a little bit less vigorous right now, a little bit more lazy of a push we're kind of tracking where firefighter movements are by virtue of their hand lights there as they're moving around in the back and in the front here along the outside. Nobody's up on the roof anymore. We did have company operations up on the roof. Looks like that back window might have lit up here. So we're getting an orange glow again on the Charlie side of this. So we do have active fire inside there, and Cam's going to go in tight there, and you can see that you've got some heavy fire that's still blowing around inside that back compartment. It looks as though that room back there has flashed. Don't know if that's a back bedroom. Usually the way that these structures work, that your bedrooms are at the rear, kitchen along the side, along with your restrooms and whatnot, your bathroom. And looks like we got heavy volume of fire now in that back room. That it's actually everything that's in that compartment, in that space. From what I saw, just coming around there, you're seeing flames from floor to ceiling, and now it's actually coming up along the back side of the structure. We're getting flames out of the back now, so I'm not seeing any kind of water being applied to that particular compartment as of this time, but it's very tough to tell with the smoke in the way. But we do have heavy volume of fire at the rear of this structure now, and we have a room obviously that has flashed over. In other words, when I'm talking about flashing over, that means that everything in that room has reached the ignition temperature. And when you do have a fire, of course, your heavier, your hotter fire gases and your heat's going to be concentrated closer to the ceiling, and the cooler air, the more tenable space is down at the bottom on the floor. We do have a couple of firefighters have gone up on the roof now, and they're on the Alpha side, the Alpha Bravo corner here with that ground ladder, and the back part of this structure now is showing some heavy fire up through the ventilation holes that were cut by the truck company that was up on the roof a little while ago. And you can see now it's up well into the roof. It's actually run the roof completely. So now the attic space is lit up. We've got heavy volume of fire on the inside. You've got a hand line that's in operation. We're going to flow some water through the back window here on the Charlie side. Can't really get big apparatus in the alley because, as you can see there in the foreground, there's a lot of power lines to have to deal with. But this fire is really taken off now. It's up well seated in the roof. So it's up in the attic space there, and it's burning along the roof peak now. And getting back to what I was talking about compartments, and view a house as a series of boxes built into each other. And where you have one compartment, like let's say a bedroom, and you close that off with a door, and there's a fire in there, and it reaches everything in there, gets hotter and hotter and hotter until it off-gasses. You get a change in the actual structure of the makeup, the molecular makeup of the fuel that's in there, and that is everything, whether it's carpeting or things that are on the wall or your bedding or what have you. And when it reaches its ignition temperature, everything ignites all at once. And what we're seeing right now is that we've got a heavy volume of fire that has now gotten up into the roof space here. This home burning now, heavy volume of fire at 8224 South on Lafayette, just off the Ryan. Those of you who are just joining us, we're doing this live stream here of the fire fighting effort, and also paying special attention to this because a Mayday and an EMS Plan 1 was called here. Now, we do not have a securing of that Mayday as of yet, to my knowledge. That has not been passed on yet. The EMS Plan 1 dictates that you have 5 ambulance response here. When we arrived on the scene between about 5:15, 5:30 tonight, we had companies working up on the roof here, a single family home, single story with a relatively low peak roof. Had multiple firefighters up on that roof, and they were making ventilating holes to try and draw some of the superheated fire gas and the smoke out of the interior of that space. And that is what the fire is burning through right now. It's actively burning up and through the attic space and through the holes, the ventilating holes that the truck company had cut up underneath there, so you can, on top of the roof. So you can see right now we have a very heavy volume of fire burning through here. Hand line is in operation on the Bravo Charlie corner. Got another one, looks like might be in the back end there. So along the corners of this single family home, trying to get some water in there, trying to get something flowing in there in order to try and knock some of that fire down here. So a fire that went from relatively innocuous smoky fire in a single family residence, suddenly right around 5:30, a little bit before then, went to an EMS Plan 1 and a Mayday called for a firefighter in trouble there. So hoping for the best here. We're seeing quite the activity on the exterior, of course, because there's heavy volume of fire now throughout this structure here. We have your officers and firefighters out in front. We've got hand lines stretched from the street side through the gangway back between this house and the house next door, and this fire is really taken off. This fire is basically raging unchecked through the attic space of this house here. How tenable any of that space is on the interior as more of that fire continues to. I always saw that that one hole there, the flames suddenly just die down. Looks like we may have, we're fighting on the interior now. I think we got some water that's coming out. We got some water on the roof perhaps coming off there. We got a hand line working up on top there. I think we might have somebody from the front, from the A side. We got point of vantage on, looks like might be the roof next door, to try and get water down inside there and see if they can cool that off, make it tenable for anybody who may still be inside here. Working it from it's all defensive operation, it appears right now. We've got firefighters putting water through the, got a hand line working in the back. Got another, looks like a hand line up on the roof of the building, house next door. Your closest exposure building, only about 6 to 10 feet across that gangway between there. And also it looks like another hand line that's in operation from out on the A side, from the street side. So trying to get some water down inside this structure here and try and cool that off, knock that down, but still a very heavy volume of fire that is consuming this house in the 8200 block of South Lafayette. For those of you who are just joining us, we're watching a particularly dramatic scene, and one that has given us quite a lot of pause here in the last half hour or so. We saw Chicago firefighters arrive on the scene and go to work opening the roof of a house here at 8224 South on Lafayette, just off the Dan Ryan, on the west side of the Ryan, and did not see any real interior operations, but it was very tough to tell because of the smoke curling around here, smoke cooling off very quickly and sinking down by virtue of the very cold air that we're dealing with here. Things looked like they were going pretty good. Had companies up on the roof, cut a couple of vent holes up near the roof peak there. You can see one of those that is still lit up, and things look to be on their way to being under control. Then right before 5:30, there was a Mayday called and EMS Plan 1, and don't have any details on exactly what that is comprised of, why the Mayday was called, who got in trouble and whether inside or outside the structure. Did somebody fall? Was somebody trapped? Don't know that yet. So we're keeping good thoughts for the firefighters on the ground here. We do have hand lines in operation from just about every side now, and point of vantage on the structure down to the south. We got a, looks like it might be a two-story. They're walking the roof line right now, the roof peak, and getting water down into the seat of the fire that seems to be heaviest toward the rear of this structure. But the inside, you can see the back windows here on the alley side, the Charlie side of this structure. Those are all lit up, They took the window glass out of there. They're putting water in from the backside, from ground level. Got a hand line working there, hand line working off the house next door. But a heavy volume of fire throughout, at least, especially in the back, especially in the rear of this home in the 8200 block of South Lafayette. We do not have any word of the actual Mayday being secured or the Plan 1 being secured or struck at this time. So we're continuing to monitor that. As soon as we get that information, of course, we will let you know, and then everybody can let out a collective sigh of relief here. But still, whenever you call a Mayday, I've been in the fire service for the last 20 years, and the standing rule is, if you think you're in trouble, you're in trouble. And do not hesitate to call a Mayday. That's what everybody is there for. And what would happen is that they would move all of the radio operations, radio traffic to another frequency. If you have in communication with a firefighter that may be inside the structure that is on their primary radio frequency, they will keep that and establish communications that way and maintain communications, because you need to know who's in trouble, where they are, what's their air state, how much air do they have, and exactly what kind of resources are needed to get in there and effect a rescue. So we still have quite a large presence, of course, with the Mayday call and the Plan 1 still in effect here at 8224 South on Lafayette. Single-story home. Pull up on a working fire like this, got some smoke coming out, and that's where smoke reading really comes in handy. Your volume, velocity, color, density, how deep is it in the structure, where is it originating in the structure, how hot it might be, what is being consumed. All of those are things that the firefighter is going to be looking for when they first pull up on the scene. Company officer's going to make the 360, kind of check things out, see what is going on. Is there anybody that is reported trapped on the inside of the building? That changes all of the operation there when your first new companies arrive, because you're going to try to do an aggressive interior attack. Is it an unoccupied structure, in which case you're going to go defensive and fight it hard from the yard, stay on the outside there. There's all sorts of tactical things that you have to consider when you first roll up on any kind of a fire. One room fire, smoke showing, you could get in trouble. You could have a wastebasket that catches fire. Fire is dangerous, regardless of how big the structure might be, regardless of what is involved there. There are a lot of considerations when you just pull up. It's not just a case of pulling up in front of a building and putting the wet stuff on the red stuff and making it go away. There are a lot of things you have to consider, including building construction. How is this building potentially going to hurt me? Some buildings are built, most buildings are built with efficiency in mind, not necessarily life efficiency, but for the occupants inside there. You could have open spaces, you could have had modifications done to the interior where a remodel could change an entire floor plan. That's why whenever you go out on an EMS call that you're inside of a structure, you make a mental note. When you go into a bungalow, is it different than an American four-square? Is it different than a two-story or three-story? Maybe it's a walk-up or a brownstone or a flat. In this case, we got a single-story home. Here, something went wrong. Mayday was called. An EMS Plan 1 brings 5 ambulances to the scene. And so now you have to play it where it lies. You have to analyze theory. That's what we call it in the fire service. Where has it been? Where is it at? And where is it going? And right now, you got the firefighting effort. Obviously, it looks mainly defensive here. We've got point of vantage from the two-story that is just to the south of the original fire building. Got a couple of hand lines there. Guys have gone up on ground ladders to be able to get water down into those ventilation holes. You'll notice that they are symmetrical. They're rectangular holes that were cut by the truck company that was up on the roof here a little while ago when we first arrived. Fire broke out around 5:15 this evening, and it looked to be fairly under control. We had fire suppression operations going on. They had companies up on the roof. The truck company would be on the roof. The engine company would be delivering the water. The squad company would be doing search and rescue. There's all sorts of levels of things that happen at even just what would be a standard fire. If you got a fire in a structure of any sort, there is a complete command structure that goes into effect right away, and things get changed up quite a bit if somebody gets in trouble. And right now, we've got a Mayday that was called, an EMS Plan 1 that was in effect here for this fire, and that's why we're bringing you the live continuing coverage of this on our stream. So those of you who are just joining us, let's recap back up just a little bit here. We're over a single family, single story residential structure that caught fire in the 5 o'clock hour about 45 minutes ago now in the 8200 block of South Lafayette. So this is along and just above the Dan Ryan, on the west side of the Dan Ryan here, about 8200 south. I had companies working here, had smoke showing, had companies up on the roof. The truck was on the roof, the engine company was going to work, and something happened. Mayday was called, EMS Plan 1 was called, bringing 5 ambulances to the scene here and activating your RIT company, your Rapid Intervention Team. In other words, that is a company of firefighters that are standing by outside the structure. They're masked up, they're ready to go, they're on bobble air, they're ready to go and make a rescue should that take place, whether you fall off the roof or something happens on the interior there. So it looks like, all right, we're just getting late word in my ear, and everybody who's watching this can let out a sigh of relief along with us up here in Skywatch. Just getting late word, all members are accounted for. The Mayday has been secured. So that is the best news that you can hope for here, and that's what we've been praying for the entire time that we've been circling this building. So we'll have more on our commercial broadcast here. Kind of an emotional moment for me, being in the fire service, learning that everybody is accounted for. And so we're going to jump over to our broadcast side, and thank you very much for watching us, and really glad to know that everybody is accounted for. Chris Havermill, CBS News, Skywatch.
keeping you safer sooner. CBS 2 First Alert Weather.